What's up, everybody? It's your girl, Erica, from the Classy Climb blog here on a Freedom Friday. It's a late night Freedom Friday, but this Freedom Friday is a little different because I'll be on the road tomorrow, so I didn't get to go out tonight. Some of the things that are on my mind is there are signs of a recession coming, right? There's like signs of a recession coming, and I don't think anybody's really paying attention to it or cares to pay attention to it. Not just my personal observations, but what I've been doing this past week is I was looking for, sorry about that. I was looking for homes to buy in Austin. I was looking for a home that, was under 250,000, something reasonable. And for a while, as a real estate agent, just going with my friends and checking them out. I mean, I'm talking about raggedy homes, terrible condition, bathrooms terrible, at least $10,000 to $20,000 worth of renovation I'd have to put in myself. Well, now all of a sudden, the past 3 weeks, Austin's real estate going down right now. The reason this is happening is they built 7,000 homes in Leander, which is north of Austin. They built 1,000 homes in Buda, Cal, south of Austin. They built to the right of Austin, another 5,000 homes. It means they can fit in there. Why? We have 157 people moving a day and 57 people moving out. Right? But they don't really move out of Austin. They just move to the edges. We've created a giant donut. So the houses closer to the center are now doing this, going down. Now, a few people say, well, Erica, no, the houses I'm looking at are not going down. Well, if you're looking at the top of the market, I'm talking about 500,000, $500,000 homes. Yeah, yours aren't moving yet because the value's there. But the houses anywhere from 188 to 275 are going down. Now, I told you guys on the channel, a couple years ago, my business partner was like, hey, let's go in half on this house and we can rent out rooms, or you can stay there and rent out the rooms, whatever you want to do, house hack. And I was like, no, I just, no, I don't want to do that, right? And I'm not going to do that, right? And it was $135,000 house. Amazing price. Literally in that same area the past 2 years, and it was 3 years ago we did that. The past 2 years, houses in that same exact spot have been 250,000. That's almost $120,000 increase in this one area in Pflugerville. And a lot of people off East Austin all of them just moved up there to Pflugerville, and it just threw up the prices, right? Same thing happening in other places. Now, as the prices go back down, different people's offices are freaking out, and that's how I've kind of got the scoop on some of their meetings, is they're telling everybody, no worries, this is a great time. We can just start convincing people who didn't have money to get pre-approved, and now they can get into a house. Well, again, these are the same houses that I saw that needed the bathroom redone, needed the kitchen redone, and have been, now they're just going to be lower cost. So at the end of the day, I see an opportunity for people who want to remodel homes, making money, because in order for people to get the value, that 250,000 they want, they have to do it. So that's one of the signs I'm seeing. Another sign I'm seeing is Uber Pay and Lyft. A lot of drivers went away from Uber Pay and Lyft, especially in Austin, because they had this fight and they went away, and other apps took its place. Well, Uber kind of put its founder out and all different kind of things where he's not in charge because of some kind of relationship he had at work, sexual relationship he had at work. But this is something I noticed they're doing. They're doing quick pay, express pay. Google this for yourselves. It's Uber Express Pay. It's Lyft Express Pay. And it's like, if you get up to $50, you can cash out. Now Uber's saying, if you can cash out 5 times a day. Why is this happening? Why is this happening? The same reason when I went to go deliver pizzas for almost 2 years in Austin, drivers would come to the work with their clothes on, looking nice and sharp, almost on E. And when you come to work at any pizza place, they give you like $20 as a bank, so you can have change at the door. And if you don't have change for customers, they call and complain, hey, your driver didn't have change. But what would happen is the drivers would drive there and they'd be on their last dollar or their last edge of gas and would have to stop and get gas. I mean, it was the craziest thing I've ever seen, right? And that's what I assume is happening with Uber and Lyft drivers. There are people who, they don't drive enough, they don't drive consistency, so now they're like on their last gas, they're on their last bit of money, and so they're having to hurry up and, oh God, I dropped off 4 people. Whew, I better get that $50 right now to my bank account. And it's crazy because that just shows you that's a weakness in the economy when people are that bone dry that they're like, you can take 5 payouts a day with Uber. That's a bad spot, right? So something I noticed too is I'm getting a more increased calls from people who are like, Erica, I'm on my last leg. I'm about to be homeless. My job let me go, and I waited to the last minute of unemployment to do something. I mean, I've had young men, young women call me about this today and this last week, and I'm like, hey, boo, like, this is like, you're on fire. I know that sounds crazy, but like, you're on fire, and we have to put the fire out first. Like, we can't talk about real estate, we can't talk also till we get you stabilized, right? And so the best part of trying to explain that to them is I was go, you can make 4 or 5 grand a month, but you're going to be driving. And a lot of people don't want to go get certain jobs or do certain things, but you know, if you're in an area where it has Uber, Lyft, Instacart, Postmates, there's a lot of it's delivering food, different things. You need to hop on it. You probably pretty much need to drive from 9 in the morning to take a break at dinner and then drive more at night. You know, use 2 phones if you have to. And why do I say 2 phones? I see a lot of people, a lot of drivers with prepaid AT&T Go phones, you know, $30 phone, smartphones, and they'll have them both sitting on the car, right? Up there on the little dashboard. And they'll be, oh, drop you off, thanks, and then pick up this driver. And then go over here, oh, drop you off, pick up this driver. And do that all day. And make about 2-3 grand. If they're really hustling, about 3-4 grand. Now, where does the Postmates come in? When you're not driving for those 2 companies, you're driving for Postmates. Around dinner time, around lunchtime, which is a lot of you picking up people's lunches and dinners and dropping them off at their house. You have a debit card that has this, you know, it's like a magical debit card that basically it swipes and it, you know, pays for their meal, and then the transaction, of course, goes behind the scenes. But a lot of that is what you're going to be doing. You're going to be doing that day and night for at least a month, and $5,000 should kind of get you out of your hole. If it doesn't get you out of the hole, you're going to do this for probably 2-3 months. Okay, Erica, I don't particularly want to drive all the time. What else can I do? You can rent rooms out of your house. Oh, I don't want to do that, Erica. I got dogs or other reasons. Okay, you don't want to do that. What's something else you can do? You're going to have to kind of let go of some of that pride and go work at Target seasonally. Go work at a pizza place seasonally. You know, there's opportunities out there in the marketplace, but they're going to require some change. And there's real estate agents I know right now who are switching over to mortgage lending side because the leads come to them, and it's a guaranteed $50,000 a year job in comparison to them when they've been running around hustling, spending gas, advertising as an agent, and losing money. So that's kind of some of the stuff I'm seeing, and that's just the Austin, Texas market. I know a ton of people who have Georgia, Texas, Florida, all these other plates that would be in Austin doing all the construction. Well, we're behind schedule on some of that construction that I was telling you about, 7,000 homes and 1,000 homes over there. Well, now this Houston thing's happened. They're following the money. They're leaving. It means more construction is going to be behind in Austin. More construction is going to be behind all over the United States because so many people are needing the money. So they're going to go to Houston. They're going to, in Houston, when I talk about Houston, I'm talking about 30 counties. You're talking about 30 different counties around Houston that have damage. So there's going to be probably $500 million, you know, like $500 billion, maybe some ridiculous number, almost $1 trillion to replace and fix these 11 counties in Texas. What's the appeal about that? Is because so many people move to Texas for work. And this is the thing. I lived in Texas the past 5-6 years. What people don't realize is Texas itself isn't necessarily booming. It's people coming to Texas. Now, if you're going to say, Erica, you're full of crap, you don't know what you're talking about. No, hear me out. The average companies, like let's say there's 10 companies. 9 out of the 10 companies move there. They move there. And the 1 in 10 that got started there, sometimes it's a native Texan, a lot of times it's not. A lot of times it's franchises. And if people in Texas are honest, they'll tell you that. A lot of times it's not native Texans starting these companies. It's people bringing these companies in. Now, what happens when people come? If 157 people are moving to Austin every single day, 300 are moving to Dallas every day, and it used to be 500 moving to Houston, not so much anymore, but they're bringing, let's say I sell my house in California, I sell all my stuff, I pretty much everything, I sell everything I have. I'm coming to Austin with the money I got from the house, money from all the stuff I sold, and what I'm going to do when I get to Austin, I'm going to buy new furniture, I'm going to buy a house, maybe 2 houses with my California money. I'm going to, you know, go out and eat at restaurants, I'm going to go see movies, I'm going to go to all the concerts until 2 or 3 years when I'm like a normal citizen. Okay, so that's been happening the past 7 years, 17 years in Austin, Houston, and Dallas. People come, they bring cash, and they are the power in the marketplace, not the native Texans. And people get pissed when I say that, but that's the truth. They're literally, they've made laws so real estate agents that are from other states can not work as fast. Like, right, they'll delay them by 6 or 7 months getting their real estate license. Like, a lot of California people came, and I would see agents with signs like, hey, I'm from California too. Let me help you find a house that's similar to your old California house. Like, I mean, essentially the article, the little advertisement was like, hey, we're both Californians. Let's work together. And they're trying to slow that down, right? And that's a lot of what I see in the advertising is, hey, I'm from somewhere else too. Let's do this. The same thing's happening in my home state of North Carolina as far as Raleigh and Charlotte. It's a lot of people moving there. And now they're excited because they're in a new city. And for 2 years, they'll spend a lot of money. But then after that, they become like a regular citizen. So let me go on here and check out what you guys are talking about. Let's see. LOK, highest. I'm going to check it out. Ebony Eyes, the real estate is overpriced. Most of the homes are being purchased by investors looking to flip. Unfortunately, many of them are being forced to rent them out. Exactly. See, what's happening is, like, not even just with the flip this house shows coming back. There are people that I know that have been flipping before and after the recession. They just flip slower, right? So instead of the guy flipping 15 houses a year, he flipped maybe 5. And he still made his money. He still made 18 to 20 off each house. He just only flipped 5 that year. Still made good money. Still had some rentals. You know what I mean? That's the difference. People who are in business and they've been doing it for a while and they have a system, they go, oops, it's about to go a downturn. I'll just wait. Same thing with Warren Buffett. Warren Buffett, everybody's like, Warren Buffett's pulling billions out of the stock market. What's happening? He has all this cash. He's waiting. He's seen cycles like this happen before. So he's waiting. And then he'll be investing in companies shortly when we have more punch. Right now, they're saying retail for the fall is going to be down, but Target's hiring 100,000 people. Why? Because Target has a really powerful online store. You can pick your stuff up in the store, and people still shop Target and Walmart like hardcore. All right, LOK Highs, what's the best foreclosure site to look at homes? That is free. In my experience, you can find them on bank websites. That is very true. Another site where you can find them free. Gosh, what's the name of that site I'm thinking of? There's a really good site, but I can't think. It's Williams and Williams auctions. Go on, just Google Williams and Williams auctions, and they do different states at different times, and they do it online, and they also do it. Like, you could be at the site, but not many people do the ones at sites. But I like those. That's like one of the best in the nation, Williams and Williams. There's another one that's really good. I think it's like sellmyassets or something.com. And it's where basically a lot of people who are about to be in foreclosure sell their homes. It's a wild west out there of that. But if you are, let's say you're saying, hey, I need really cheap homes, you honestly could put out bandit signs. I know that sounds redundant for people who watch other videos, but I have literally driven around town, and if I see a certain sign over and over, I call that guy. That guy's the strongest guy in town. He's going to have cash. He's going to pay me. So that could be you. You could put out that, 50 signs for 3 months. And that's kind of the standard rule. Like, if you do it for 3 months, people in town really think you're like the shit. It's crazy. My raisins, how do you go about picking stocks? My raisins, we're basically talking about the economy having shaky signs tonight. But I just stick with dividend stocks. After college, I learned, stuff happened about penny stocks and all that stuff. The teacher who taught us how to do stocks was like, I didn't show y'all how to do penny stocks to stay there. I just showed you as an example. So me and some of the other students are like, well, thanks for that, right? But I stay with dividend stocks. So you can go on Experian. You can go on dividend.com. But yeah, so, I mean, you guys let me know if there's anything you've seen in your neighborhoods or your areas that show the economy might be shaky. I saw a video today. It was like about a dog. It was like a man put a dog out, but he was near a camera. Like, he literally just got out of the car, pushed the dog out the car, and drove off. And everybody's like, this is outrageous. Well, we saw the same thing in Houston. All these people with all these dogs they had to leave behind. Now, I can imagine as an emergency responder going, we can't take dogs. We have a little boat. We can only take you. and people leaving their dogs behind. But I also have a feeling people were like, I gotta go. Dog can't go. It's an extra burden or extra expense. And so some of the things I've seen in the economy lately is just the signs of people, or like I saw a man the other day in Raleigh, North Carolina news, he got arrested for child neglect. And I go, well, what happened? Well, he was at work while 5 of his kids who are under the age of 10 are at home. Well, you go, what's going on? Well, his wife has stage 4 cancer and they didn't have anybody. Like the babysitter left early and the neighbors called the cops. And so he got charged with that. But think about that. He's in such a situation that there's no family, there's no other people in their connection around them to help them watch these kids. It's a lot of kids under the age of 10. So again, people are more isolated and they're not connecting with their neighbor to go, hey neighbor, give me some help. Hey neighbor, I'll pay you some money. So it's just really crazy out there. So I just want you guys to be aware, like if you're in a hot spot where the house is burning down around you, your financial house, do whatever it takes to get stable, because what's going to happen, I have a feeling, is people that go into this recession strong are going to kind of get stronger, right? If they kind of keep the uptick. But people going into it like Houston and Florida, like scraping by, this is going to be a rough 10 years for them. This is going to be a really rough 10 years. So, okay. There are more homeless here at NYC. Some workers I use can't wait too long before getting paid. They need to be paid right away. Yeah, I'm seeing that. I'm seeing people who go, I need to be paid weekly. Like they used to tell people, oh, you get paid in the whole, you get paid not this week, not this paycheck, but the next paycheck. Like, so technically you work 3 weeks at a job before you got a paycheck. People can't even do that. They're like freaking out. Yeah, I mean, I'm seeing a lot of that. And like San Francisco homeless, like Austin, Texas homeless is like out of control. It's every corner, it's every section. And a lot of times the police, they act like they're ignoring it unless they get belligerent, right? So there was this one corner where the guys had the squeegee buckets and they're trying to clean your car. And you're like, whoa, back it up. And then the police, kind of put the noise on, the noise sirens on to get them away. But yeah, I have a feeling, and this is why I think financial education is so important. And we got to start teaching it. If you have a teenager or somebody in college, like give them some books, give them some information. Like even if they just put $25 a week away into a savings, a bank certificate, something, because what's happening is just nothing. People have no savings. If their credit cards get cut off, they're like done, right? So, I mean, it's just really kind of scary. And then like even Florida, still in a light pole. It was like 2 white guys with a light pole. I'm like, you have a whole pole on top of your car. Where are you going with that? Like that level of looting makes no sense to me, right? But anything you guys are seeing in your local areas or your local cities or states, hey, put it in the comments. Like maybe I'm missing it, but I'm seeing some signs of the economy. If you guys see some, put them in the comments. Let me know what you're seeing at your areas. Because New York City is like tough. I mean, you guys have serious winters there. Like, do they start kind of making the homeless people get off the street in the winter times? My Raisins one. But yeah, you guys just let me know what you're seeing in your local communities. But I also noticed I went on Craigslist and I looked for office space, like with the prices on the office space, and they were down. There was a 3 office, was it 3 offices? 3 offices in like one little plaza, like one little building for $1,000 a month. And I was like, this seems like a trick. There's just no way that this price is too low, right? So it's kind of freaked me out. My Raisins, one, there are more on the trains and subway. So did they just ride the train all night? I mean, I know it sounds really country hickish, but the thing I know of New York is that we have a cousin up there. I'm like, hey, that's it. And I think half of my family went on a trip and went to Broadway plays with her, and that was it. Like the furthest I went was Delaware, New Jersey, and Philly for our other family. And I was like, that's enough for me. My Raisins one, even my family noticed when they visit from out of town. Yeah. I mean, same thing with California. Like I'm just hearing people like San Francisco. San Francisco have states kind of passing laws to just passing these laws that like you can't have your RV parked on the sides of the road. You can't do all this stuff. I mean, it's a lot of that happening. which is crazy. And so, like San Francisco has all these RVs lined up. Like just had a row of RVs lined up, and they were like, they have to move. They're bringing down the property value, but it's literally people living in RVs. They're living in RVs. They're living in these like half converted buses. And when you talk to them, they weren't poor. They were making money. They were making a lot of money actually. A lot of them were getting paid like 70,000 a year, 80,000 a year in California, but it wasn't enough. Like they got pushed out of apartment and they're just stuck. Like it wasn't enough income. And so I've noticed a lot of that happening, and that blows my mind. There's just like there's two Americas going on somewhat, where there's a lot of parents who are doing traveling sports. Have you guys heard of that? I don't know if you guys have. Let me know in the comments if you've heard of traveling sports. There's a lot of middle class parents going each weekend to different arenas to play these tournaments and championship games. And so their kids are out here doing these games. And then at the other end, they were talking to the parents. It was on like the sports show they have on HBO, and they were like, "How much is this costing you a year?" And some of them were like 15,000, 20,000, 30,000. And I mean, I'm talking about SUVs, Tahoes, packed up with stuff, driving across country, driving from Texas to like Iowa and Chicago and all these places. And you're like, part of America where they're using credit cards and just all kind of stuff. They're like going on these trips. But then you have this segment of America who are like squeezed. They're so squeezed. It's just crazy. It's like I've noticed it lately even more. And I think it's because the calls I'm receiving for people who I'm like, if I was in your shoes, I wouldn't even be on YouTube. I'd literally be working like cray. I'd be getting a job anywhere, right? So, girl, I can't hear. I don't know what that means. I don't know why you can't hear. The sound's working fine. Sorry. But that's all. I just had to do that quick one tonight. I just want to say, keep your eyes out for the signs. Keep your eyes out. These are things I would look for. Prices of guns, price of land. You find land lots in your area. Number 3, prices of silver.com, goldandsilver.com. Go on caratgold.com. They can sell smaller pieces of gold, not the biggest ones. And 5, look for opportunities. Like I literally go on that buybizsell.com and I can see just overwhelming amounts of people selling their businesses, and they're just older and they're ready to retire. They want to cash out. So I see a lot of that happening and know that's what's happening. Let's see. My reason 1, petty crimes are returning. My home got broken into the first time ever. People are breaking into cars. Yeah, and that's when I know they don't know math, right? Because if they really, really do the math, some people, their bills are like 1,000, 1,600, 2,000, you know. My raisins just said they're entering the through homes through the roof. I mean, if you're entering homes through the roof, why don't you go get a roofing job? If you got that much skill, you might as well go get a roofing job. That's crazy. But yeah, just stupid petty crimes. Stupid petty crimes. I don't know if you guys see this video, but it's on YouTube, and this guy, he pranks people. He pranks people doing stupid stuff, right? He'll leave a bike unattended, and he'll put electrodes to it. So like if you get on the bike, it shocks you, and people fall off. And so he records it, and he goes, "Hey, you're trying to steal my bike," and they run off, right? But the comedy is they got hurt, right? Another one is he has an Apple Apple laptop and a Apple iPhone in the back seat and it has this little thing to it that makes it like electrocute you. And they weren't criminals. They look like everyday people. That's the sad part. And they kept reaching in the open window, trying to get the cell phone and trying to get the laptop. And it was shocking them and shocking them. They would take the edge of their shirt, try to get it. They would do all this stuff to try to get this thing that was not theirs. And, you know, some people may call it a crime of opportunity, but I just thought that was the craziest thing I've ever seen. Something's electrocuting you, but you're going to keep reaching for it. So some of these crimes just don't make no sense. To me, it's just a lack of math. It's like people don't know their numbers, right? Like they had watched this thing, and it was a firefighter working 3 jobs, and his wife stayed home with their 2 kids. Common sense said these kids are right at the age of going into 1st grade and kindergarten. She can go get a job now, and you can go get a different job. But the guy wanted to keep the firefighter job, and then he was a medic, paramedic, and then he was something else. But each one of those jobs paid like $10 an hour. If you did the math on it, they paid $10 an hour. Well, then you found out they had $75,000 worth of student loan debt. And it was like, they asked them, was it just your debt or you and hers debt? It was both their debt. And everybody was thinking, why can't you guys just, why don't you go get a job that pays 80 grand a year or something and get yourselves out of this hole? Why don't you go be a truck driver? Why don't you go do something else? And he literally looked in the camera and was like, my dream is to be a firefighter. So your wife, let's get this straight, your wife is at home with 2 kids about to go into school system. So that means 8 to 2, she can work somewhere. And you're working 3 jobs and basically sleeping 2 to 3 hours a night, 2 to 4 hours a night. Like, that's a quick way to a heart attack. And so that just showed me he was bad with math, and he was really stuck on the path of, I'm going to be a firefighter no matter what it takes. And it's like, dude, we're not asking you to never be a firefighter. We're just asking you to not kill yourself working 3 jobs, sleeping less than 4 hours a night. Like, common sense says, go be a truck driver, go do something that you can learn quicker and make a big bucks for at least 2 years and then come back to that. And that's what kind of scared me. Like, I was like, this guy and this family, if he has a heart attack, and he's only 34 or something like that, but if he falls over and has a stroke tomorrow or something happens to him, what happens to her? What happens to all of them? He's working 3 jobs. So, see here. Chiropractic injury doctor. I would tie the bike to the end of a grenade. Not a bike, dude. Come on. That's kind of funny. Logic reigns supreme. Most people can't be trusted. Opportunists. I mean, that's kind of what I was calling it. It was like, these people didn't dress in a particular way. And when the guy ran up, he was like, you were in my car. He was like, oh man, a bird flew in your car. I was just trying to knock it out of your window. I mean, it was like the most dumb responses, and they keep doing it. They're in California, and they keep putting these videos out. You can Google them and find them, like thieves get shocked stealing a bike. I mean, you see them. It's absolutely crazy. Did you say buy biz sell? It's buybizsell.com. It's the #1 site for buying businesses. And a lot of times the people on there are just actual people who, here's the thing, what I've noticed, especially with UPS offices and stuff like that, they're just people who are 55 to 65, and they can't sell it to their kids. They can't sell it to their cousin. They can't sell it to a family member, because if they do, if something goes wrong in the business, you know that family member is going to call them and be like, come over here, come help the business, right? So they want a clean break, and so they use this broker site to do so. Some people offer seller financing, which is great. Some people offer training for 2 or 3 weeks. But you got to realize, if somebody's ready to sell, yeah, they're going to train you for 2 weeks, but they're going to be really ready to go. So pick things that are in line with what you do, right? I showed on the video a couple days ago, a daycare that was $75,000. You get all the stuff, everything inside the daycare. Well, if you're a woman already at home with like 10 kids, you know, that you're watching, and you're ready to take it to the next level, that was a perfect opportunity, right? Get inside the daycare, you know, and have more kids, have more workers. Because the daycare only had 2 workers. And so that told me, if they only have 2 workers, that means they can only, legally in some states, per 1 adult, you can only have 7 kids. So 7 kids, 2 adults, that means she only has 14 kids. That's a small daycare. So imagine if you're a woman working from home with like maybe 10 kids. Now you combine with the kids they have there, even bigger. So that's some of the things, like when you go on there, car washes are for sale. But the reason I think it's such a valuable site is, if you have a business and you're going in a recession, and you start marketing the heck out of that business, you grow that business really, really strong. And I don't mean get a bunch of employees. I mean just grow the sales revenue, like put new life into the business. Because sometimes people are just tired, and they're like done with the business. They're just done with it. So if you could come in there and give the business new life, and new marketing may change some things, right? Okay. Chiropractic injury doctor. That's a funny name. Some bar owner got sued by burglar's family after he died trying to break into her bar. She hooked a car battery and jumper cables to the burglar logs. He got shocked to death. I don't want to laugh, but I'm like, they're going to probably say this. They're going to sue and say that was harmful, cruel, unusual punishment. But that woman probably got to that point because she probably kept getting broken into. And I feel like you play stupid games, you win stupid prizes. People want to sell drugs or do dumb shit and they get caught. I don't feel bad for them. This is a one channel. I don't feel bad for people. If you want to choose that, play that game, you take that game's risk. Like, and he died trying to break into a bar. That is the dumbest thing ever. I mean, I don't even know if the insurance company would pay his policy. That's how dumb that is. Like your family can at least bury you, but they might not be able to bury you because that's so stupid. Logic reigns supreme. Are business degrees valuable? I think any degree can be valuable. Now, people are going to say, Erica, no, degrees are worthless. No, I think a lot of certifications are really great. A lot of community college certifications are great. You can learn how to drive a truck in 5 weeks. You can do all these things that can help you get out of this negative financial hole and actually have skills going into the recession. But on the flip side, a business degree, depending on what you're trying to do, some guy that's trying to learn how to do real estate or flip houses, he can go work for a guy. Check out Devin messing his name up. What is it? McClinish. He's in Nashville, Texas. Just looks up Devin buys houses. I'm going to put it in here. Devin buys houses. Devin buys houses. Look him up on Instagram and Facebook. You can find him. He is 24 years old. He got 58 deals in no time. Now, part of people are going to say, well, his mom got an inheritance from his grandpa dying, but it was only like 40 grand. It was only like 40 grand. But the key, what he was doing is marketing. He put out signs everywhere. He called every single contractor in the city and was like, hey, I'll come work for you. I'll come do whatever. And they were serious, you know? So again, LOK highest, buy, biz, sell.com. That's it. Buybizsell.com. You can Google it or you can go to the last video. But yeah, so are any degrees valuable? It depends on your work and hustle. I'll tell you this, if the economy goes to poop, go get a sales job. Read Grant Cardone's if you're not first, you're last, and go get a sales job. And people think, oh, Erica, nobody want to hear that. But the only people truly with the money are other biz to business, right? Business to business. You're doing sales where you're going to sell advertising to other businesses or different things business need, like supplies, you'll still make money. Logic reigns supreme. Thanks. And my sister just wants a nonprofit, and I told her she doesn't need a business degree, but she's already enrolled. Honestly, so a lot of people say they want a nonprofit, but what they don't realize is they need to go work for a nonprofit and see how those things really work, because it's very much a community game. It's like you have to get a board of directors. You have to get probably like 7, depending on the state, 7 different board of directors. And usually in order for a nonprofit to kind of get that sway, they need people in the community who are, trying to think of a nice word, who are very, very influential, right? I actually took a class, and it's called Multicultural Leadership. It was like Multicultural Leadership Development with United Way. And what it did is it picked all these black women and black men. Hold on one second. Hey, so what it did is it picked a class of maybe 25 or 30 people who were black, Asian, Hispanic, and, you know, different people of the community, to train them how to be on boards and how to be on nonprofits so that we could be influential, right? Because a lot of what happens, all these boards are covered with a bunch of like 60, 70, 80-year-old white guys, and some of them want to go home. They don't want to do it anymore. They don't want to be on the board. They want to retire. They're done helping, volunteering in the community. Plus, it gives it fresh eyes. So when people say they want to start a nonprofit, I hate to say this, I'm very much against it, because 9 times out of 10, you can make it a profit business and contribute more. A lot of times in like certain communities, people are like, I got a nonprofit. And you go, well, now you got to go spend 300 days a year marketing your business, right? Marketing and begging for money. That's essentially what you're going to be doing for 300 days. Marketing and begging for money. And if you're not marketing and begging for money, okay, who's paying you? Is the government paying you? Right? And if we're going to go in a recession, government ain't paying you that much. They're just not. So let's see. Where are we at? Sorry. My raise is one. I would only get a nonprofit if I was getting a huge government grant. Otherwise, it's not worth it. It really isn't. Unless you plan on basically begging all year long. And at that point, you're going to have to go look up a list. I remember doing this for a film festival, looking up a list of the most wealthy in town and business owners in town and writing them letters and kissing their butt. And, hey, could you donate $100 for all these kids' backpacks? We're giving backpacks to the poor kids. Yeah, I guess I'll give you 100, and then act like they're doing you the favor. Okay, so that just gives you an idea. And then, like, for example, Red Cross, 40% of the donations go to the budget for the people they hired, so they can go out and run around begging for money. I mean, it's just, I have a tangent about nonprofits, so I'll stop. But honestly, her fastest way to make a nonprofit is to go work for one. And I'm not telling her to steal the list of people, but kind of see who's who in town. See who's very charitable at giving, and then go create the nonprofit, honestly. Chat Williams, what do you mean? Truck driving is in reference to recession? Chiropractor, injury doctor. Is it worth it to get registered as a minority business? It depends with the city, or it depends. So I'll give you an example. In Austin, it's only me and one other company that are minority painters or hub businesses, historically introduced out of business. But the other guy is not only a black guy, he's also a veteran. And he also wears a cowboy hat everywhere. And guys love him. So, and it's kind of like playing a game. What happens a lot of times in your city, and the reason I say it's a good thing, especially in the recession, what happened is, I don't know if you can go back and look at one of my videos, is basically the city gave the federal government, Obama and all this federal government, gave $5 billion to Austin, $5 billion to Detroit, $5 billion to like several cities. I can't remember all of them, but I think Philadelphia was one of them, and several others. But the key to getting the money again next year is they had to get at least 40% of the business owners to be minorities. Now, what happens? The big name people got the contracts, but they made sure that a lot of the minority folks got some kind of cut, right? So, for example, when it came to painting contracts, guys would call us and go, "Hey, girl, hey, can y'all buy us some paint and mark it up, and we'll pay you and have a great day." And I would go, so basically, you don't want us to come work. You don't want my guys to have any work. You want me as a minority business owner to buy paint, mark it up 30-40%, and sell it to you like we did work for your company. Yep, that's what we're looking for. That's what we're looking for. So in that whole snap, you'd be like, that's crazy, but it is playing a game. And eventually what happens in some of those towns and cities is the city and government goes, oh, you've been doing contracts for the city before. Here's some more contracts. That's what's going to happen in Houston. The big name people are going to get contracts. A lot of these companies that are coming in with minority owners, setting up business in Houston, are going to get the smaller contracts. They're going to be subcontractors. They're going to come in. The companies will be able to say, oh, this happened. But it's crazy. I've seen it happen over and over again. It's so ridiculous. And my reasons, it's technically not fraud, because what they'll say is we bought services from them. We didn't buy them. We didn't hire them to paint. We hired them to provide us with paint. And that way they get their butt covered and our butts are covered. I've seen it happen a lot. All right. But if it's in a city that you think is getting money and is going to get billions of dollars, or they're going to do some redevelopment, go on your city website and look for any redevelopment grant, or where it has a section about future planning, strategic planning. Look for those words. You'll see if the city's getting ready to invest a bunch of money, because what happens is outside contractors sometimes get the money because nobody in town even applied. ATL, chiropractor, injury doctor. ATL, I wouldn't say ATL. I would say the surrounding counties. If you're going like Douglasville, or you're going Marietta, Georgia, where like all those tech companies moved. If you're going other parts of Georgia, sure. But ATL might not make a difference. I think their percentages of minority businesses registered might be high. But again, sometimes it's a lot of paperwork, so people don't do it. So don't be discouraged. You may be the only people in your particular niche, whatever it is. Chat Williams. Advice for someone starting to look in trucking company. Okay, so the whole video is talking about recession, in regards to recession. So only thing I'm gonna say, chat, is if you're gonna start a trucking company in the recession, I would get your credit right. I would get a lot of business lines of credit. I would actually go look up Matt Moreno. His name is Matt Moreno. Let me see if I can do that here. I'm typing it in here. Matt Moreno. Oh, God, I hope I'm not spelling it wrong. I typed it in here. Go look him up. He has an equipment company, and he's got diggers, and he's got trucks, and he's got semis, and they work with people. You know, if you got years in, and he's like he's Grant Cardone of trucking. Let's do it that way. He's Grant Cardone of commercial equipment, right? And he's grown this $100 million company because that's his deal. He likes working with guys, getting them finance. And if you're going to start a trucking business, being honest, you need about 3, 4 trucks. There's a little thing you can check on called jtracker.com. And you know what just happened is I thought about transferring a car from North Carolina to Texas. And because all the companies in Florida were trying to get their trucks out of Florida, out of harm's way, I got over 40 calls from companies in Florida trying to transport via dualies, via all kind of transport vehicles, the car from North Carolina to Florida, to Texas, just to get out of the storm. But jtracker.com is a great way for you to get leads, great way for you to get jobs. And you can build a company kind of from the bottom. So I really don't want to do this shortly tonight, but that's basically, yeah, jtracker, exactly. That is how I saw it online.com. Yeah. But yeah, so there's a book, I don't have it right here beside me, but it's Grant Cardone's If You're Not First, You're Last. It's a great book talking about right when the recession hit. A lot of times people are like, they just gave up. They just absolutely gave up. They either was like, oh, this is not bad. I'm ignoring the recession. I'm not participating in the recession. And he goes, that's stupid. It's happening. You need to decide what's your position in it. And so he would say, if you think about it, let's say you work Monday through Friday and you have, I guess, 3 weeks off a year, and you make 1 extra phone call a day, Monday through Friday. By the end of the year, you've made an additional 250 calls. Just think about that. If you make 1 extra call a day for your company, trucking company, or whatever company everybody in this stream is listing, that's 250 calls in a year. So it's the difference between a company going under and a company making it through the recession. The key is to get big and get strong. Now, what do I mean by get big and get strong? I mean, how many ways can you have people pay you, right? Because I know some people who are coaches and they'll go, I've got 10 big clients, Erica. And I go, wow, you do? What's up? I've got 10 clients paying $2,000 a month. I'm living large. Call them 3 months later. Oh my God, I've got 2 clients paying $2,000 a month. And I go, well, what is your other products and services that you offer? Because you can't just depend on big name consultants unless you're going to be always chasing new consultants. Does that make sense? Like even on this channel, I had 32 at one time and I took that down. I was like, you know what? I want to give people the best service possible. So I got down to 3 and gave them the best I could. You know, a lot of the 20s, they got, you know, business lines of credit, credit cards, all that good stuff. But that's why it's better to have quality over quantity. And hopefully soon I'll get that audio testimonial here from a couple in Florida. They were safe during the storm. We end up working together, getting them business lines of credit and getting them into not 1, not 2, but 3 properties, right? Because I told you guys before, people see you moving, making moves. The bank sees you making moves. Easier to get approved. Easier to get approved for more business lines of credit. Easier for turnkey companies and people who sell homes to go, hey, I see you just bought a property. I got one over here. So that happens, regardless of recession or not. They pay attention to movers and shakers. And here's what's the problem. A lot of people are going to go, Erica, I'm going to save up my money. And when the recession happens, I'm going to buy my first house. Who's going to get more rental properties? The guy who's already bought 2 or 3 before the recession and now goes to the bank and says, I want to buy some more? Or the guy or girl who have no rentals, no history in real estate, no history getting business lines of credit? It's going to be the guy who already bought a couple because he's shown a track record of success and investing before the storm. So that's all. I'm going to wrap it up for the night. Thank you guys. I'm going to be on the road tomorrow. So if you're any of my clients, you already know you're going to be on headset. Saturday update clients, you're going to be on headset. So just putting that out there. All right, everybody, listen, this is Erica, Classy Climb Blog. If you want to talk to me, the link is below. You already know. And anything else I can help you with, please message me. You guys have an awesome night. Listen, be strong, my friends. the way you make it through this is how you decide. It's how you plan, right? But you gotta get some stability. All right, everybody, have a great night.